Hello, friends. I'm a little new at this, so I would like to read from my prepared text. The following is for educational and/or entertainment purposes only. I would like to introduce myself and this video series. I'm Tim, and my title is Philosophy in the Light of Pure Reason, whereas philosophy is the love of knowledge. Light is the creative and positive energy of the universe. Purity is the understanding of our collective reality through the heart. And reason is the quality of measurement and discernment that we must all utilize in order to achieve freedom and dignity in our existence. I previewed today's talk with a friend of mine who will remain incognito since she's a medical professional. She wrote me this wonderful letter. Dear Tim, your reception gives me space to wonder how I am holding what I experience in therapy. Know that I need space to shed sometimes. I am sorry if this is a burden, my emotionality, yet it's real and part of the recent load. This is the reality of a therapist who deals with such realities, and the majority have no idea. Soft places to land, so rare. And her main point is, all this sounds abstract and not of use to a person in helping to solve their traumatic problems. I hope to show you otherwise through this series. And I'd like to start with what sounds like an abstract concept, and that's the principle of polarity. I believe we can discover basic principles in the world around and within us in order to heal. For example, there are many classes or categories of reality that we can discern as having positive or negative poles with ranges between them. Take visible light. There exists a spectrum going from lower frequency red to higher frequency purple. This is only that which is visible to our eyes, and both ranges continue lower into matter and higher into spirit. Another example is sound, which is that part of the open-ended spectrum of creation that can be detected by the ear. It also extends lower into bass tones and higher into the treble. Then there is the psychological spectrum, having the two poles we call love and hate. This is the way the frequency of existence resonates within us, and it can be attenuated, just as we can tune a guitar string or mix a color of paint. This transmutation of frequencies is what I would like to discuss about the principle of polarity, and it's not as abstract a concept as you might feel. We can decide and control the degree of hate or love within ourselves, what we know of as our feelings, if we realize that they are one and the same thing. It's only our relative sympathetic vibration along the scale of love and hate that determines how we feel emotionally. The divorce courts and child custody law offices are certainly full of examples of those once happy couples who have successfully moved themselves downwards from love to hate and now feel trapped since their whole being is in sympathetic vibration with those hate feelings and revenge feelings and victimization and violence and abuse, which are aided and abetted by others for profit. For example, in the musical scale, the pattern of notes keep repeating at higher or lower octaves. There is middle C, and then higher or lower Cs that are connected. Think of which C you are playing on your instrument as the focus of your emotional state. You can choose which note to play, just as you can choose love or hate, made easier if you see them as different poles of the same emotional continuum. I can also choose to resonate with a lower or higher frequency towards someone who has wronged me. I can move myself to hate them or I can raise that emotion up through its connected octaves until I realize that I can also love them. Since now I have empathy for their situation, understand why it was that they thought they needed to wrong me, and finally reach the highest note of compassion and forgiveness for the pain they must have held within that induced them to wrong me and cause me pain in the first place. Now, there are some who most unfortunately cause great harm and suffering to others and themselves while not in possession of free will. They are under the control of a darker will, which they never agreed to succumb to. These persons must be forgiven. For example, in prison environments, some of the most horrible abuse cyclically occurs. And during war, it might seem unimaginable, but people are actually ordered to take the lives of others in some twisted concept of self-defense. There are also some who, most unfortunately, cause great harm and suffering to others and themselves willfully and purposely in a quest for power and pleasure. These persons must be allowed the chance to repent, and if they do not, given no quarter. The principle of polarity will set you free, since it helps you understand and transmute all your hate to love, if that is what you wish. This process can be applied by you to your most intimate feelings and emotions, the origins of which only you can know and understand, much better than any therapist. You are free to change yourself. The situation today in our world, both on the earth, above it, and below it, is certainly changing. And our oppression, hopefully, is coming to a close. As we enter this new era, I think we deserve the chance to examine how it is that we have been victimized and how it is that we can free ourselves. And I think an important step is to learn to control our emotions through the principle of polarity. Thank you for listening today, and I hope to continue next week with another principle. Please send me a question or a comment to watercan72@hotmail.com. Have a wonderful time.